Hello Gemini, I am Ulrich, I am a Lenormand card reader, and today we will do the financial philosophical card reading for the sign of Gemini for the month of March. As always, we will do 4 card readings for your sign, and these are based on the natural elements in your astrological chart, or for some of you on your time of birth. These basic elements are air, earth, water, and fire. Now, the 4 objects that you always see on my table are directly connected to those elements. So you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current situation. However, if the object and the related video does not match your first choice, please check the other videos that are immediately connected in the same session. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. Anyway, the matches represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. Also, I want to add, if you have questions, you can always post them in the comments below, and of course, as soon as I have time, I will answer you. So, Gemini, here we go for your financial card reading for the month of March. Hello Gemini, and welcome to your financial philosophical card reading for the month of March. As your first card here, we see the card of credit cards. What does this card tell us? Well, this card asks you how would you rate your own use of your credit cards. Anyway, here we see that sometimes this is about unbalance in our use of credit cards here. There are 2 sides to this card. There's a positive side and a negative side. So we will start with the negative side. The negative side of this card is that probably here we see that we have made certain debts on the credit cards, and on these debts or on this arrears, of course, we need to realize that we paid interests. If we have several credit cards, it's possible that we have a credit card that always gives us money, even though it's already very below zero, it keeps giving us money. The problem with these cards is if you have such a card, that the interests that you pay on such cards are enormous. Don't be surprised if you pay 20 or 30% on these cards. I know for a lot of people this is the Chinese language, but you should double check what you pay in 1 month if you keep these arrears. Anyway, also we are urged here, if we have such a card, to balance it out. For starters, put some cash in there and put this card on zero if you can. And secondly, if you can get rid of this card, try to get rid of it, because this don't help you financially progress. Mostly this puts a stress on us, such a card, and we should try to get rid of it. The positive side of this card here that we are seeing here, it's probably that you don't use all the advantages of your credit cards. Maybe there are in certain stores where you go, if you use your credit card, you get additional points, or there is something that you can make profits. So here we should check all the advantages that are connected to our credit card. Sometimes also it implements certain insurances. We get discounts on our insurances. You should check it out. What is your credit card company offering you and the discounts that you get, because probably you're missing out on certain discounts here. Anyway, in general, this card tells us that we should review our use of our credit cards. The next card that we are seeing here, this is the card of compensations. We all work hard. This means that this group of people, they are working hard. But sometimes if we work hard and we are stressed, we want to compensate ourselves. Sometimes we do this, we are stressed, we walking into the mall and we buy some pair of shoes, or we buy an electronic gadgets. This is what we are seeing here, and we reward ourselves with that. But here this card tells us, instead of rewarding yourself financially, we should consider here for rewarding ourselves with non-financial things. For instance, I'm giving an example. If it's very cold outside, we come home and we drink a glass of milk with honey. It's a nice reward and it costs very few. The same can apply if you live in a very hot area. You come home, you drink a glass of iced tea with some ice cube. It's a very satisfying reward. Anyway, here we see that or we know that we have very little treats in our life or rewards, but we need to keep on persevering here. This card tells us that if you reward yourself, you should not overdo it. Probably you have done a lot of efforts to come where you are, and you should not waste your efforts here. This is what we are seeing here. Of course, you deserve a reward or an award, but is it wise to do so? Here, we should think about compensations that we give to ourselves without bleeding our wallets. This can be, for instance, like a non-substantial thing, like a walk, reading, music. Here we need to find out with this card what makes us really tick. And if we know what makes us tick here, whether it's idleness or activity here, we need to make a list here from it, and then you can apply this reward without financially costing you money. The next card that we are seeing here, it's related also to the credit cards. What does this card tells us? Well, it asks you here to think about the use of your credit card, as the first card does here. Here we see that if we go to the mall or to the supermarket, we should double check the importance of the items that we are about to buy. We should realize here what we are about to spend. And mostly this card tells us that there is superficial spending. Maybe you made some promises to yourself here, but maybe you forgot the promises that you made to yourself. And this card wants to help you to set up a visual reminder system and also to observe your own habits. Here we are asked to stop over-consuming. How do we apply these visual small reminders? Well, it's actually quite simple. You find an object, you put it in the corner of your credit card, and it's something, you put some transparent tape on it, and when you are about to pay, you will see that the thing is there, and it will remind you that you probably are about to spend things that you don't actually need. It's like a reminder here for validating if your shopping is really necessary or the things that you are about to buy, if they are really essential. Anyway, also this is about online shopping. We all do a lot of online shopping now in current days here. And we are asked here, or what you can also do is changing your password in something that makes you think. For instance, you can change them in like truly necessary, reasonable. Anyway, such a password, it will make you think twice before you confirm your financial transaction. Of course, you will need to change these visual aids and these passwords as your brain will get used to them, and you will start paying less attention to them. Anyway, we are asked here with this card to be creative and administer little reminders and passwords to adjust certain tendencies that we would have regarding superficial spending. So Gemini, this is all for the shell or the water group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you have interest in work or business card readings related to your work or business, I also do these. We do these with the classic Lenormand card readings, and we do also spiritual card readings, spiritual, philosophical. These are very good guides in our life. So the 3 of them, they make like a whole each month, and you can find there maybe more direction in your life. Anyway, Gemini, thank you for your time you spend on my channel. Thank you for subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye-bye for now, Gemini. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Aerosol or the Air group for your financial philosophical card reading for the month of March. As your first card here, we see the credit cards. This card related to the credit cards, it has 2 sides. But we first start with the negative side. The negative side of this card is that probably it means that maybe you have some arrears on the credit cards. Maybe you spend a little bit too much and there are still arrears. But this card wants to remind you, if you have arrears on credit cards, some of these credit cards are very expensive. Maybe you have more than one, and most likely if you have one there that always gives you money, this is the problem. These credit cards, some of these credit cards that don't belong to our bank, that are from other companies, they have very high interests, meaning this is not an advantage for you, this card. I know it's easy, but sometimes these companies, they charge you 20 to 30%. I know for a lot of people this don't ring a bell, but you should check on your monthly the monthly things that you receive from your bank, how much exactly you pay. If you don't balance it out by the end of the month, you will be surprised, because this is about very big amounts that you pay. These companies, they are not business people anymore, they're actually sharks. So if you have a card like that, try to balance this card out. And actually the advice of this card is try to get rid of it, because these are no longer honest business people that charge you these interests. The positive side of this card is that probably you don't use all the advantages of your regular credit cards, meaning if you shop in certain malls, maybe you get additional discounts that you don't know about. Maybe there are certain discounts on insurances. This is about that we are not optimizing the use of our credit cards. So something here is lacking. You could have more advantages on these credit cards, or you don't use all the advantages connected to it. Anyway, this card in both ways, it tells us to double check the credit cards and the use of it. The next card that we are seeing here is actually a card related to our children. We all know that our children are a beautiful wealth, but we also know they are expensive. The apple of your eye, it probably is cost you dearly. And as with any budget item, if I may put it that way, there are essential expenses for them, and of course less essential expenses for them. Sometimes when requests come from all sides, maybe you tend to lose your head here. And here we need to see also if we invest in the right things. Do you invest in their education, in their culture, in their health? This is what this card asks you. Sometimes also is that the parents would follow certain trends of the moment. So here we are asked to go our own way, establish your own priorities according to your own values and not according to the current trends, and especially not to the so-called tiers for your children. Here we are also asked not to tell ourselves stories, because a lot of children regarding to certain desires, they don't have limits. We cannot generalize, but there's a lot of children who don't have limitations. They will not stop asking, and as soon as they received what they have requested, there is already a new request, but you know the system already probably. Anyway, here we are asked to stop wasting our energy on that in here. You can be sure if you say no that younger people understand. Here also to the extent that we need to involve them and teach them setting them certain priorities about money. The last card that we have here is the card about luck. It means what does this card tell us? Well, it tells us that money don't bring happiness, but we all are aware that we need it. According to Maslow's pyramid, we first need to meet our basic needs like food and shelter. There are the psychological needs also. Anyway, we need to cover our security and psychological needs. And if this is fulfilled, then we aspire to self-fulfillment. Of course, it would be wrong to think that the card of the year would be part of these essential needs. Sometimes this card tells us that we tend to confuse basic needs with things that we don't really need. We all like to have more, we all like to spend more, we all like to travel more if this is already possible. But does this guarantee your feeling of completeness if you spend? So here we are asked to take a break and think about the pursuit of happiness. For everybody it's different. Do you associate it with life worthy of that of a king? Are you more in the middle group, or are you happy with just the basic things? This card also reminds us, if money were so strongly connected to joy, why are so many of the super rich unhappy? Some of them even are depressive. Anyway, money is essential to meet the basic needs. However, when these are fulfilled, it don't depend anymore on that. So this card asks you to enjoy the little things of life, appreciate especially the people around you, because maybe this is the real gold in your life. Anyway, Gemini, this is all for this month. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, check the other three that are immediately connected here. If you have interest in the evolution of your work or your business, you can check those also out. We do also financial and work card readings. And we do, of course, the spiritual philosophical card readings, who are more a guiding. So the three card readings are woven to a whole here, and you can find out more what is there up for you for the month to come. Anyway, Gemini, I want to thank you for your time you spend on my channel. Thank you for subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye-bye, Gemini. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Stone Group or the Earth Group for your financial card reading for the month of March. As your first card here, we see the proportion or the card of balance. We know everything in life is relative, and you are the only one who can estimate the real value of your money if you put it in context to your financial salary and your situation. This card tells us also that a monthly payment for a loan for someone's house is different. It's different if you live in a poor country and you have a low salary and you have 4 children, or you live in a more wealthy country, you have 2 salaries, you have 1 child, and the house is paid. It's a very big difference. Sometimes for people who live in poor countries, €2 or $2, it can make the difference if they eat 3 times a day or not, especially in the current situation that we are facing worldwide with all the restrictions and the freedoms that are taken from us for everything in our life. Anyway, here we see with this card that we need to find a balanced budget. We need to establish a relationship that is important between your outflow of your money and the things that you earn. We need to put everything in context here. You need to relativize. This card tells us your current expenses and educate yourself on the things regarding your salary and see how you can make a very good balance here. Anyway, if you don't know how to make the balance, and if you don't know where your money is going, because sometimes with this card, we don't know where our money is going. We just do it the old-fashioned way. You take a piece of paper, you make categories, what is essential, less essential, and luxury. You write everything down, what you spend each month, and then you can immediately see which category is disappropriate, and then you already found your problem. It's a housekeeping accountancy that we are doing, but it's very easy to find where your money is going. Then, of course, the next step for some people, this card could mean that they live beyond their means. The next card that we are seeing here is the card of essential or our real needs. We are all individual, all unique. We spend in a different way. And here we see also that we need to become aware what our real needs are. It's actually very close connected to the first card here. We need to compare our situation and think about what is fundamentally really necessary for us and what is optional. Here we are asked again to analyze our current condition. We need to distinguish ourselves what we are obligated to buy and what we desire to buy, because there's a difference, of course. Here you are asked to make a fair and a precise analysis again, so you can identify your situation. Sometimes we believe that certain things are essential, but in fact, they were rather unnecessary, and you could actually done without them. By eliminating these incidental, because for some people, these are monthly incidents that always coming back. If you avoid them, you will be able to quickly improve your financial health. Here we need to make a distinction between the unnecessary and the luxury purchases. Of course, they have a time and a place in your budget, but here this card tells us also you need to look forward to them, and these surpluses you need to put them in a kind of we need to put them in a kind of planning. This is what we see here. We need to make clear decisions regarding this planning, and you will be surprised how much more enjoyable it will be if you actually put them in planning and you buy them then. The next card is the card of accomplishments. This is actually a positive card that we are having here. It means that over the last months or over the last period, your financial situation is improving. But this card wants you to improve even more. You start to see certain changes. You start to see result of your hard work. Probably this means also that we work hard, and we need to appreciate these small victories. An accomplishment, it doesn't mean that you are successful regarding society, but you need to do it for yourself. You need to put it in front of yourself, and we should not compare ourselves to others. But we should see and highlight the positive transformations that have been coming to you for the last period. But also this is the card of questions. It asks you if you have a long-term plan, and can there be made some changes, improvements? Are there some things that need to be changed in your life, that you need to modify? Here, this card tells us if there are some modifications necessary. We should not be discouraged here. Also, if you don't know how you improved, you should write down your accomplishments. It doesn't matter the magnitude or the impact of it, but we should write it down and see how we have improved. And here we also need to look for a lasting change. We need to find a way, our path in life that is important for you, how you can persevere more. But we should, of course, appreciate the progress that we have made so far. We should persevere, and we should keep persevering. So this is all for the Stone Group of Gemini. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you all, please check the other three that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. If you have interests in work-orientated card readings or business card readings, you can find those also on my channel. We do these with the classic Lenormand card readings, and we have also the philosophical spiritual card readings, who are more like guiding cards, but they give very good answers. They bring together, they can give you a picture of the month to come. Anyway, Gemini, I want to thank you for your time you spend on my channel. I thank you for subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye-bye, Gemini. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the matches or the fire group for your financial card reading for March 2022. The first card that we see here is the card of financial education. What does this card tell us? Well, it tells us that probably we need to talk to our children about money. Also in the area where you live, probably the money don't fall from the trees here. And this is about cash flow management here. Maybe we need to educate our children more about money. You can easily see if your children are already financially independent and educated. I just give a simple example. You are in the mall with your children and they come up to you with some electronic gadget or some toy. And they ask you, Mom, Dad, can I? And you say, no, it's not the right time now. And then you get the answer, why not? Your wallet is full of credit cards. And this is what this card is about. This tells you probably you need to educate your children more about personal finances. It would be utopian to think that they could get along in this hyper-consuming society that we are living in. It's here we are asked to turn them into knowledgeable consumers. So talk to your children about money. If there are certain taboos, break these taboos, inform them and make them aware of healthy financial practices. By teaching them the workings of a good foundation, you will greatly help them in the rest of their life. The next card that we see here is that every gesture, every little bit of money, it counts. What does this card mean? Well, here we are confronted with the use of our credit cards here. And it tells us also small amounts we usually pay now with credit cards. But the problem is with credit cards, we don't calculate. We just put the thing on the machine and the money is gone. And we think it has no consequences here because we have no longer a change of coins and paper money. And therefore our brain does not calculate. And it's like we are not spending. And here with this card, it tells us that to improve your finances, you need to realize that even these small amounts that you spend, they have an impact. There are people sometimes who come in a problem by spending always small amounts of money left and right, and there's no need sometimes to spend large amount to get yourself in a less positive situation. Here we need to, this card tells us that we need to get ourselves more in hand, and if we spend more superficial or small amounts, we should control this here. You should stop these insignificant disbursements that always seem to reappear here, which of course accumulate to large amounts of money. If you stop these things, you will see that your financial situation will improve, and of course you will grow substantially. It's through a series of small micro decisions here that we get back on our feet and we can control more. Here, this card is about awareness. What does this card tells us? Well, it probably means that you become more aware of the value of your money. Also, it tells us that we can improve our situation, but it tells us that you are the one in charge. Here, we should, if we are living in some form of denial and we hope for better days here, this is not the case. You need to be the architect, the main architect, the financial architect of your life and your sustainability here. You are the one who has the power to change things here, or you can choose for status quo, but this is not what this card is about. This card wants us to improve here. Of course, there are external elements like unforeseen events, unforeseen expenses here that can influence our course. This is also part of the package here. But of course, it's your management, your financial management that will make the real difference. So here we are asked to reflect, take some time. If you don't know where your money is going, note your impressions. If you don't like your current situation and you want to improve more, write down your condition, make a list of present and future fears, write down what you don't like, list your hopes, and here especially make a plan of action. Sometimes with this card, you see the binoculars here, we need to take a step back and we need to give ourselves the gift of perspective. Sometimes it's easy to get carried away in this consumption, hyper consumption society that we are living here, and we live by wonder here. But if we are not careful, sometimes this can have consequences. So this card tells you not to be passive. Be aware of your situation, be aware that you can improve yourself here and your existence if you limit the additional expenses. So Gemini, this is all for the fire group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you have interest in work or business card readings, you can check those also. I do these with the classic Lenormand card readings, and we have also the spiritual philosophical card readings, the 3 together woven. They give you a big overview over what is the month to come. Anyway, Gemini, I want to thank you for your time that you spend on my channel. And of course, I thank you for subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye-bye for now, Gemini.